okay. I'm not sure why I didn't tell the truth. Maddy said maybe it would die or maybe it wouldn't. That's good, honey, but don't get your hopes up. It hit that window pretty hard. It'll be okay. Mama was shivering. She hugged herself and rubbed her arms, but took a moment to look up at the stars before following me inside. First thing the next morning, I ran down the road to Maddy's. I'm glad you showed up. I'd forgotten all about that bird. Rufus and I followed Maddy to the closet. As soon as she picked up the box, we heard the bird fluttering inside. I grinned up at Maddy and she patted the top of my head. We'll test fly her in the bathroom to make sure she doesn't have a broken wing. She shooed Rufus, who'd followed us into the small downstairs bathroom. She closed the door, then nodded for me to open the lid. The bird was standing up. She blinked at us, flew straight at the mirror, hit it lightly, and fell behind a bottle of mouthwash. Maddy caught her and held her with the bird's neck between two middle fingers. Aren't you choking her? Not at all. Birds have skinny little necks under all those feathers. She held her up to the light, pulled first one wing away from her body and then the other. What you looking for? Mites. She's clean. Maddy tested the bird's feet, which clamped down on her index finger. The only thing wrong with this bird is she doesn't appreciate that you saved her life. Shall we? Maddy nodded toward the door, which I opened. In the yard, we turned to face my house. That's the way home, Maddy said. The bird's feet were still clamped around Maddy's finger. She kissed the top of its head and moved her other hand away. The bird stayed perched as if she were as tame as a parakeet. I held my breath. After a few seconds, I said, Maybe she is hurt. The bird looked at me, chirped once, and poof, was gone. Guess not, I laughed, spread my arms like I had wings, and flew in a circle around Maddy. One lucky bird, Maddy said. A voice with wings. She held her hand up and we high-fived. From now on, she said, I think I'll call you Finch. Do you mind? I giggled, but shook my head. But how come? Maddy shrugged. I don't know. Maybe so every time I see you, I'll say, Hi, Finch, and we'll both remember this moment. I'm glad I didn't bring you a skunk. Maddy laughed. You saved a little life. Even if the bird isn't grateful, I am. She leaned and kissed the top of my head, as she'd done to the birds before setting it free. Anybody would have done the same thing, I said. I wish that were true. You'll discover people are either givers or takers, and a good way to judge is by what they can turn their backs on. We stood side by side, watching the chickadees mobbing the feeder on her front deck. I wish I could save Mama. Maddy put her hand on my shoulder. Your Mama's fighting hard to stay here with you. That will make all the difference. It occurred to me that Maddy hadn't asked if we'd heard from Dad. Why do you really decide to call me Finch all of a sudden? She didn't look at me when she answered. Sometimes I give people animal names so I can remember what they brought me that needed help. Not because I'm named after my dad and you hate him. She didn't know I heard her say good riddance when Mama called crying to tell her she thought Daddy had left for good this time. Maddy didn't answer. I picked at a scab on my elbow. It's my fault he left. She narrowed her eyes at me. What in the world makes you think that? 'Cause, you know, the thing that's wrong with me. She knelt